Miss Skyers on the go discussing Corona Lockdown Part 7C. I hope for those of you that have seen Part 7B liked it, as it was short and sweet. The lockdown, yeah, is slowly lifting now, thank God. But I am still going to do this regardless. I don't like wasting my precious time, and the level of opposition I had from other idiots not to complete this means I was meant to. Oh, yeah. No matter what I go through, amen, and hopefully not, but there may be a second wave, so this recording may come in handy one day. Now, I really enjoyed writing and doing battles of the old, I really did. I will be doing battles of the new, but also talking about the good that has come out of this and taking a little sneak preview of the past, to connect it all together. Now, in my previous video, I talked about passion and vision in the mind, how it can work for you. It was kind of brief, as most of you know this, but due to the pandemic, we tend to forget. So I just gave a little reminder, but it creates an energy and it's really you, but the source can come from anywhere too. So although I plan to be more humorous in this one than my last vid, hearing the death of many security men made me move in a different direction, as I was moving in. It's sad, but I'm sure some of you will love it. But firstly, I have a poem to recite. A special greetings to you, genuine good frontliners, the frontliners that only agenda are to protect, save, comfort, encourage, make safe, be a good deterrent, drive with care, give advice, and so forth. And you all know who you are. You are never ever really far from our hearts. Those that died from the virus are like shining little stars. I hope you're all with Jesus, lovingly in his arms. And if so, hope you're all having a great, great laugh. In your loved one's heart, you are not far. I hope your sacrifice to those you care for in the end will have your images on their fridges like you were their friend. You shall not be forgotten. How can we do that? I wish you were our future. Sadly, now you are our past. You were our new soldiers I've never seen before. Your reputation precedes you. Your names I've now soared. For those alive remaining, may God bless you all. And for those who are mourning, may God comfort you all. And on this wise, I'll say no more. Military soldiers, folks, are normally dressed for battle. Were they ever short of equipment? Without them, they could not go to war. I cannot imagine them going to combat without their whole gear or armour, if they will. They are armed, but back in the day, they had the armour and the shield. Their mission on duty was nothing else but kill. They have to know their shit. They have to be trained and to have to be fit. They would have an idea about the end times, and they would have an idea about the enemies they have to face, preparing their minds and hearts to swell up with hate, because they are there, folks, to eliminate viewers. Even so, many have come back in body bags, but at least they were covered, they were prepared, and they knew their loved ones may not see them again, as they are trained to be detached emotionally from them while they're on duty, as their training are often brutal. That's what we are led to believe, right? Going overseas to help set the captive free, so to speak. People, only they know the truth. So how about our new soldiers, the frontliners of 2020, the genuine ones? Many of them have died too. Doctors and nurses, a lot of security and cab drivers, postmen, bus drivers, and the list goes on. They were there for our benefit, and now they are gone. Some may try to figure out what the hell went wrong. Yes, some may have thought of the money too, but some lost their lives protecting me and you. They keep us safe and ensure that we get to our destinations and we are fed. They were loyal to the end. That's my estimation. I believe the genuine ones felt a sense of loyalty to the nation. The majority of the UK didn't know that even existed, but like a martyr, now they're on top of our list. But they soldiered on anyway. Don't think for a second they did not thought of their loved ones, children's, grandchildren's, mummy, daddy, grandmummy, granddaddy, siblings, other relative, friends, colleague. Every time they heard of a death of a frontliner, especially one working in their field, who sadly passed of the COVID-19, yet they went on anyway, even though it was well documented early in March that they were lacking protective clothing, masks, and so forth. They were trained in their field, yes, but they were not trained for this. Medical scientists, we heard, battled to find out more about the coronavirus. They didn't fully know. How the heck can the frontliners know what were on their minds when they set off to work? Can you imagine? My thoughts are that they felt they didn't really want to die, but soldiered on despite that fact that must have really hurt. I don't know if I'm going to see my child again, but they went on anyway. I don't know if I will kiss my wife again, but they soldiered on anyway. Viewers, they were not trained. Not for this type of biological warfare. In a sense, they were ignorant of the cost to themselves. That to me is some super kind of wealth. Never really knew at first what they were really getting into. When they were dying far from their families, their hearts must have pumped out. Goodbye, I love you. What a beautiful heart. Unlike our military soldiers, they were trained for their warfare, but these 2020 were not. That's the difference. Why do you think some of the frontliners left their position in fear? The ones that left the dear ones in care homes, and I hope to God nobody criticised them for that. Can you blame them? They felt vulnerable and scared. Haven't we all at one point? Their hearts must have uttered, please forgive me, I don't want to die like this. I want to live to enjoy more time with my family. How can anyone expect them to sacrifice their lives? Others did, and I'm so saddened, but I praise both groups. Everyone has a right to life, you see. Everyone. That's why I honour them all, the genuine ones. I believe that a lot of deaths could have been prevented. If you don't believe me, check out the word COVID-19. Why not COVID-20? Get it? If not, figure it out. Or look on the brand new £20 note. Preferably with a magnifying glass. I've done a lot of figuring out myself, such as how it was and the process. We woke up in 2020 and thought, yeah, another year, not realising what was to come, an exchange of another world. Many things still look the same, like the trees, the grass and the birds. We thought, what's going on? Am I stuck in between two worlds? Suddenly many were dying, and that really, really hurt. Many became paranoid, washing our hands to avoid germs. When many more were dying, we started to value our worth. People questions what's happening, what's up with our earth. Some were sick and elderly, others ready to give birth. Tried to figure out if working or staying at home would be worse. Some got frustrated of the unknown and started to curse. Fear and terror gripped many hearts until they wanted to burst. There was a time when we rushed to the medics. We wanted to be first. Now we avoid the medics like the plague, especially a doctor or nurse. Many others are strong like a soldier, their souls are very firm. Others may still be confused and don't know what their hearts yearn. But folks, be encouraged, just know your own worth. Despite this invasion of evil, there's a lot we still can learn. Despite everything, I hope this will still be a year. Excuse me. Before the knowledge of this pandemic came forth, many were taking a pee, waking up or going to sleep. Many were lonely, yet many were having a ball. Many were on meditation, while others bragged they had it all. Some felt inside they were midgets, while others felt 10 feet tall. Others contended with retail staff as their products was not worth it. While many were busy arguing with staff at the evil benefit service, many were distressed, depressed, vexed, or fell through the net, helpless, frustrated, ill, dying, abused, were worried, overworked, underworked, overlooked, about to be hooked, giving birth, learning how to cook, thinking about the future, buying books, purchasing homes, or about to be homeless, kicked out their homes in financial debt, about to go to prison, about to be released, about to meet someone special, about to go and feast, ready to go on holiday, ready to meet friends, ready to borrow, ready to lend, going to worship, ready to commit all kinds of crime, ready to tell a lie, many going to a meeting while others were weeping, ready to work on the streets. Viewers, you know what I mean. And in the shops buying lovely sweets, hitting on crack or smoking weed, and abusing A-class drugs, about to go bust, committing infidelity, avoiding reality, engaged in study, doing exercise, looking at pornography site, about to get married, about to get divorced, and there's plenty more. So, viewers, what are the new battles for each and every one of us? It will be different compared to battles of our former world. As all our circumstances are different, have you ever thought of what it was like for prostitutes or gypsies or illegal immigrants? Wish there was a better word for that. Their survival is all was. As the immigrants were not on the system, I trust that would be their battle. Even if they have a place to sleep, a lot of prostitutes do have homes, but some do not. They hop from one place to another, and their family members, they don't even bother. Some are so rich they live in palaces galore, but it doesn't matter about your class status, gender or more. We are all in this together. the rich working class unseen people making bad decisions, and the poor. So we are all in some ways going through a different phase. So I could easily write the largest novel on earth on this, but what's the point? Hopefully this will be quick, just talking about the obvious. We are all unique. Some people don't act it as they have been doing things that they should be doing, especially at a time like this. Some of them are beyond wicked, but nonetheless they are unique. I personally cannot see it in those kinds of people though, when they act a certain way. I'm talking about the stabbings, carjackings, gun shooting, terrorist people, and spitting in people's faces, fighting security guards, and cussing off retail staff like to the max, and disobeying the social distancing rules. What I was also discussing with too was people broadcasting false information, some people trying to scare the nation. That's wicked. We had to quickly become accustomed to what has never happened before. The battle we had to face were mainly worry, stress and fear. Of course, the former things we complained about got replaced by new ones for those that thought about old ones. And it got magnified, like whatever we grumbled or were concerned about before got replaced by, I got bigger fish to fry. Will I survive this or am I going to die? No matter what happens, I'm certainly going to try, of course, staying alive. But I can understand. I think the biggest fear, look, in the Bible, Psalms 91, pestilence that walketh in darkness, right? Pestilence, that is viruses, disease, and so forth. And you can't see it. God is saying this. He won't destroy you. You know what I mean? That's just saying for those that really believe his people. And the pestilence that walketh in darkness. I never understood that. It says, Lord, we can get disease anyhow, but then I got it. It walks in darkness in our atmosphere. It walks in darkness in our bodies. We can't see it inside our bodies. So we don't know who's got it. And that was the biggest fear. You know what I mean? But Psalms 91 is great. You should read it. Right. A lot of stores in March only handle debts and credit cards, but safety reasons. So if you could queue up for, let's say, half an hour and you realise you left your cards at home, as you had enough cash, then tough. Your cash couldn't help you out this time, honey. I had to leave and did something I really don't. I told the cash assistant off, but it wasn't that bad. It was just a light telling off. I says, what's wrong? How could you do this? Why didn't you advertise it or put some notice in our store by the window? I'm so disappointed. You know how long I queued up for? She responded back so nicely to me though. Well, of course she would. The majority of services, if not everyone, were and are nice to you these days for two reasons. We're all in this together. And of course, the authorities would have warned them beforehand. After all this shit is over, I don't want a backlog of cases of abuse and lawyers on my case, which leads to a bad reputation of our government. Most of the nation was against my party and me during the Brexit. Yeah, we were, you stupid jackass, because you didn't do shit right, dithering and dathering. That 5-year-old midget I talked about in part 7A could have done a better job. Know what I'm saying? You made Britain look like a laughing stock. That was the first time I was ashamed to be British. Seriously, I was thinking, Jesus Christ, I was watching this Brexit shit. But now, the majority are for me, and I want to keep that. People, you get me? So you kiss members of the public and customers. That's in fact the whole nation's ass, as we are responsible for the lockdown. We caused people to enter into quarantine. We closed down their workplaces. Some have closed down their businesses for good. Many were made either redundant, got the sack, furloughed, or received grants, or had to self-isolate or on benefits for the first time, or back on benefits. Those that were supposed to get married, those who were supposed to go on holiday and so forth and pay for everything must be disappointed and in great fear. We stopped all their social activities and meetings their loved ones to see if they're okay. We forced them into social distancing and so forth. Why do you think they go throughout the government scheme, folks, and encourage private tenants not to freak out because private landlords will be forbidden not to kick you out? That was to calm the nation down. Hello. They know that fear, confusion and massive financial losses without any loving physical support from their loved ones due to social distancing, especially financial support from the gov themselves, will turn the nation into a bunch of grizzly angry bears, which may lead to werewolfery. Clever, isn't it, folks? Then they documented the details after. Now, when we first entered out of our homes when the pandemic was severe, I thought, oh shit, this only happens in the movies. It only happens in the movies. You're more conscious of Big Brother watching you. Hardly anyone out there. Sometimes you can walk for 10 minutes in an area that was previously rampacked and you see no one. I had to battle with that. Oh my God, it's like the old way being replaced. Like you're in a literal horror film where a bunch of teenagers, you know those kind of films, go away on a trip to another city stage, which was rampant, lively, with so much to do. They meet loads of people, party, shag, drink, and so forth, and they stay in the hotels. The next day, they'll walk in the lobby to go out. No one's there. They'll go out the streets. No one's there. They get scared now and start knocking on doors. No one's there. They'll go back to their lobbies and even call the police to hear, hello, we are all now on lockdown. Please call back next year. Shocked and scared, they don't return to collect their belongings. So scared they head back to their cities on foot. Can't even get a bloody cab, that's why. And no one's around, but they said someone is watching. For them, it could be Freddy Krueger. For us, it's Big Brother. Trying to find some damn toilet paper, on the other hand, is in March was the worst for many of us, because I love me enough toilet paper, you know. Did that ever happen in history before? Ever? As well as hand sanitizers, flour, pasta, kitchen tissue, nappies, and other things, the battle to get those items were terrible. Some people couldn't get them for weeks. I kid you not. What other battles? Coughing or sneezing? Now, I know I said a lot about it previously. I'm not against it. It's so natural. It's just like a lot of people I've seen on the bus never put their hands on them, and they're standing right next to them, they're coughing for like 5 minutes. And I'm thinking, I can feel that, please, whatever. Anyway, a bunch of commuters came off the bus when a lady sneezed. It's a true story. During this pandemic, and one woman was ordered to get out because she blew her nose in some tissue. I said that before, and there's other cases. Those terrible looks from those you accidentally walk close to, that, you know what I mean. And I remember I asked this woman. She was right across the road, and it's a part of the city centre where the road is large. And I said to her, can you get in M&S that way? Because I'm not sure. And she goes, it's social distancing, don't talk to me. I says, no, sweetheart, I'm on this side of the road. What the? You know what I mean? But I know during that time, everybody was scared. So, you know what I mean? But, hello. Anyway, it doesn't matter who's sneezing, neighbours, people on the road, people, commuters and so forth. You go into a store and no one's coughing. On the street, no one's coughing. Sometimes you hear your neighbours through the frigging wall coughing. You know what I mean? And even when I was doing early mornings, like you only have about 6, 7 people on the bus and 1 or 2 is always coughing. So I'm just thinking, what the Ross is going on here? Why ain't nobody coughing? You know what I mean? So the fear of being booted out or not gained entry into a store will cause some people not to cough or be stared at like they've got leprosy. If you can't come in, that is a battle in itself. When you can't come in a store, because at first I said no one coughing coming in the store, but now they're saying continuous cough. It's a common cold, for goodness sake. People sneeze, people blow their nose. Anyway, cough can aid in better breathing by clearing the passageway as it expels excess mucus. Although they say mucus helps certain parts of your body, I'm no doctor. I don't understand why that is. Now, a new battle is queuing due to social distancing. Some stores are really bad. Your favourite stores are closed. You have to pay extra for something online. And due to social distancing, a few online stores were saying, sorry, our online store has reached its limit. Please try tomorrow. You start again tomorrow. And you still hear this more rotted shit. And plus, you'll be paying more for it. There's a few battles. Anyway, there's so much examples, but I will just do 3 more and I'll be very quick on these 3 points. Not being around your loved ones. It's horrible. I don't know how people bloody coped with that. I still can't get out of it. You know what I mean? If they're in the hospital and they're dying tough. Okay, some sneaked out to see them at their homes, of course. They would. Can't you blame them? And those stuck in high-rise flats. And those that are pregnant. You know what I mean? And the young people that have to put back their education. Those are people who's thinking of. It's really hard. I mean, it's good in some ways in regards to young people, because a lot of people may not be able to pass, so they've got time to revise. But those that are so smart, can you imagine the that revision? And you can't revise throughout the whole year. It's like 1 or 2 months before. So they must feel, what a waste of time. But the people that are pregnant, I never felt so sorry for them in my life. Jesus Christ. The worst time to go in hospital, my heart will. I've never prayed so much for the nation for a long time. I do pray, but I pray for certain things, but it's just terrible. We're all in this together. Our software is our body and our soul, which is our intellect, our will, and emotion. Our visual, what we can see, what we can imagine, what we witness, can affect our soul. Our infrastructure, the more technical parts of our most inner body, especially our spirit and our soul, can affect our infrastructure. Now, Our benefits, despite the tragedy, is really overwhelming. Husbands and wife can now be close together. Many marriages have failed because they hardly saw each other. Your closest ones couldn't help you, like your brother or your mother. How about your precious children you hardly ever saw? You worked really, really hard. You wanted to give them more and more of all the wonderful things that you never had before, in the hope they will be happier, like they're standing tall. But one day you realise you couldn't have it all. Isn't that sad? And I've been there, you know what I mean? You want it all, and you realise that you just can't have it all. You can't. Like, something has got to give. You understand? And you handle so many commitments thus felt you're going to fall. My dear, you are not the only one. There are more and more and more. When I'm overwhelmed in life, it's the Lord Jesus I call. Sometimes you feel overwhelmed. Sometimes you really, really raw. Sometimes we question what is all this for. Forgetting from the beginning that you had a real cause. During the lockdown, after things calmed down, I'm sure many thought of the cause. And sometimes we do forget. But during this lockdown, I really trust that many remembered. As we had time to need, and that's most of us. Those on the front line, though, I'm not sure. You understand? We had time to need and to link. We couldn't link physically, but through social media, on the phone and so forth. And our needs, you know, especially women who take up most responsibility at home and works, and they may be married or not, and some men are great, they do their part, and some of them do 50-50, but a lot of men don't, unfortunately. They're both working and both at home, and the woman's sister, and you forget your needs, you know what I mean? And sometimes you grab your need. If it's a matter of life and death, you gotta eat, you gotta this and that. But you know, and so look, honey, you have no rotted excuse. You ladies out there, no excuse. While you're on lockdown, if you work, even if you're working from home, those of you that are not working, I'm talking about, service your need, because God never says love thy neighbour and to hell with thyself. He said love thy neighbour as well as thyself, meaning according to how much you love yourself. You know what I mean? You've got to show other people example, and your children and your husband, I'm worth something, you know. So sacrifice is important. It's important to sacrifice, especially when you're a mother. But that is normally now and again. But just look after you, okay? Have no choice. Right. Linking up with those you have not touched base with for years, and those recently that you've met probably last year. I had so much fun with that, and it was moving, amazing, as we rely on social media to get by. And when stuff was regularly sent to me through my WhatsApp, some was so informative and engaging. There were several warnings. I was so grateful, and I felt the love, man. And some images and videos were so funny that, oh my God, I could not stop laughing. It made my day. And those words, stay safe, may become legendary. Another wonderful thing I see. It was nice also how many strangers responded to you when you came near or walked past. In the beginning, people freaked out, but now they are so nice and smiling more as strangers has become the new. It's like, smiling at strangers has become the new. It's like a coded language for me and you. We are all in this together. That's the message through their eyes. Unlike before, when many would look straight through with you with despise, I could go on about our changes, but I think I'll let it lie. Making amends, staying close to your loved ones, making up, even though some probably were breaking up, while others who were asleep to all of this were then waking up. Cars had a break. Many annoying, argumentative people had a break. Looking after yourself, probably as students and workaholics don't eat properly, let alone cook. You know, now they can maintain themselves properly. So many of us didn't even have time to sleep or sleep properly. Working or studying with the sweat of your brow made a lot of people ill. Some even died because of it. Those that are working from home on the same salary, especially if they are earning good money, must be saving nearly half their wages. Travel and petrol alone is just crazy. Buying food daily at work, going out for a drink after with your mates and clubbing and so forth, you know, and great, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people love to play hard and work hard, you know. But some people do it so much, and then a lot of their money's gone, you know what I mean? You like to go sports events, yeah man, football, what, you know, and you go to different venues, you know what I mean, and it's great. A lot of people love enjoying themselves, and you put up with bullying, particularly at school and workplaces, and now that's over for now. Many youth carry knives knowing there is just to ensure they stayed alive, and you know, look at that. A lot of them aren't doing it, most of them aren't doing it. I mean, crime is still continuing, but it's very low. Most people, especially young people that were committing crime, selling drugs, stabbing, acid throwing, bullying, breaking in, entering, and the rest, must be secretly be relieved, especially if you don't really want to be in that gang, but you feel you have no choice. You know what I mean? Police need to understand why young people carry knives. I detest anyone carrying knives for anything reason that, oh, I just bought this knife, I'm gonna cook, or I'm gonna be a chef or whatever. A lot of them are scared and they're thinking, look, man, nobody cares about me. So I told to tell my parents, I can't even tell them anything because they'll just start doing it in the world. They don't understand. And police need to understand. You understand? Social workers need to understand these people that are normally, you know, have to deal with young people, have to understand them. It's simple. You know what I mean? Mugging has cut down drastically. Gangs hanging on street corners, intimidating passers-by has almost gone or gone. There were a large amount of children that were bullying their parents or moms mainly. A lot of that must have stopped. But I know some of it hasn't because I'm hearing things, you know. Anyway, hanging with the wrong crowd must be a relief for a lot of parents. Cutting off bus drivers has dramatically been reduced. My mum said, them no one broke in a people's house no more. Them can't. Them scared, you know. They don't want to get the virus. They don't know who got it. I was laughing. If it, I'll talk much better power than this, but when I haven't got the right setting for this and I'm doing it this way and I got people in the house, because I'm in the house now, I'm always on edge. That's why I'm never 100% comfortable unless I have my own place, and I hope one day I will. I mean, I don't really go with her that much. Never wanted a daughter. I don't give a shit saying it on this, but we're on and off. We just go for on and off talking, and so they could sabotage this. And so I'm just gonna. That's why I talk fast as well. Sometimes when I'm out, that last time I talked fast, it was my way of being a bit, you know what I mean, just the way I wanted it, you know. But yeah, and it's not hate from me, you know what I mean. Definitely, you know. And I was in saying that I'm glad I'm here, you know, because I was doing a lot of her shopping there. But it is what it is. I ain't the only one. It's not an isolated case. I shouldn't be talking about business like this, but something just led me to. So you never know who would benefit from hearing that, but you're not the only one. Anyway, infidelity must have halted for a while for most. Hey man, my bit on the side could have it, so sod that. The air is clearer, less car fumes, less people, less fighting on the streets, less being mugged. And one standing right near me when I try to withdraw cash, and the list goes on and on and on. And you know, the streets are not so noisy, but it's strange not hearing children laughing. I used to, until 2 weeks ago, I saw two lovely children that were so pretty and had the identical flowing dress. And they ran behind each other. It was so nice to see. I'm seeing more children now. But back then I didn't see none, no babies, nothing. Gone are the days I used to queue over a baby and me and mummy, dearest, would talk. Can't do that shit now. Pity. The most beautiful thing is that parents can spend good quality time with their loved ones, their children. How often, many of them wanted to but can't, have to pay the mortgage and that. Everything's just so damn high. You know what I mean? It's above the rate of inflation. So now mummy and daddy has to work. And it's nice if you can help your children with their homework, reading stories, which millions are doing, playing teach together, having a laugh and so forth. Make the most of it, please. And this will always be the same. You know, are revising. A lot of them need extra time, so that's good. And we have to reset our minds, you know. And this will be my goodbye. Now, I'm going to put this one out first, but 7B I'm going to do, because I was doing 7B, then I had a lot of ideas for this one, 7C, but 7B is going to be really, really short. Well, not that short, much shorter than the ones that I normally do. So I'm going to do that today or tomorrow, whatever, you know. But one thing I want to say, I have not forgotten women who work from home, looking after children or looking after sick people or the elderly and so forth. And I know there are those at home not only looking after children but working also. I wanted to wait till last and I will be back. It may take up to probably 3-4 weeks because I'm going to be working for 2 weeks, you know. I don't know if I'll be furloughed again, so I'm going to, you know, they might have other work as well, but, you know, to support the company, I'm going to definitely do that. And I want to work anyway. My mum didn't want me to, but once the government, because the government says that, you know, people can start going back to work, certain people, so it's calmed her down, you know what I mean? if there was a second wave, I don't know what I'd do, because I still trust in God, but, you know, I've got worried people. Anyway, I may change the title about, no, not the title, who, woman, who art thou? I may change the, what do you call it, the description or whatever. And I might not put down lockdown. It depends. And so forth. But you guys are a unique category, because people forget those at home are actually working too. And God loves you. I've got specials for you. Now that I'm working, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I just write down things, you know, and so, because I wanted to do that after. But we'll see, you know what I mean? So this one was more serene. And if it wasn't for the fact that I was hearing about, because I changed a lot of this last night, and if it wasn't for the fact that I heard about the security guard passing, you know, I would have just really gone bonkers. But it just made me move in a different direction. You know what I mean? So everybody, goodbye, and I'll be back for you women. And in the future, if I go back for anything, I will. You know what I mean? I have no shame. You know, I'm doing my thing now, because I wanted to go back. I wanted to do stuff like this in about 3 years, 2 to 3 years. I said in 2019, 2022, near towards the end, or probably from September, I want to start going back into creative writing. I'm just about making money now. But the lockdown just made it, you know, maybe just go into it quicker. So I'm not going to totally abandon it, you know what I mean? And it's all good, you know, just everything you've got, everything you ever want to do in life, just go for it. And some things you have to be almost like perfect. You know, you can't make mistakes with certain things. But this is different. This is just YouTube. And although I have pride in myself and I want to do it to the best of my ability, I can only work if I've got to work with. And if I'm working in a certain place that I can't, environment that I can't really be 100% comfortable, because you don't know who's going to walk right past or whatever, then it is what it is. I'm not going to wait until I freaking own a mansion. Got it? Hint, hint. Because the coronavirus has taught us anything is do not wait if you don't have to. Take care, be safe, and fear not. This is Miss Skyers, over and out. And God bless you. Take care. Someone's coming.